Welcome to LyfeTalk. Today we have Brother Peter Lasovic with us, and we're going to be talking about missions, specifically the mission trip to London this year. Now, Brother Peter, why did you choose London? How did London become the choice for the mission trip this year?
Well, whenever I think of the Protestant Reformation, we often think of beginning only in Germany with Martin Luther, but the impact of Martin Luther and Germany upon the world directly, indirectly, yes, it affected everything in the Protestant Reformation, but directly we have to look to the British Isles. You have, even before Martin Luther, there was John Wycliffe that influenced John Huss, who influenced Martin Luther. You look at the William Tyndale, the translation of the Bible in the local language. You look at the influence of the Wesleys. You look at the other reformers that went in other parts of the world. You think of Moffat. You think of Livingston. China. All these other places in the world. Burma. Or you think of England or the British Isles. And so, for that reason, when you look at that, you have to think of as us as a church, as a reform movement. You look at that, and we've have nothing there. And so, as a result, you have to think of, if we want to do some impact on a missionary trip, we need to go somewhere that is been neglected, and the British Isles is one of them.
So did you spend a lot of time in England before this? Was there some kind of like personal appeal to it? Like you'd spent time there and now you wanted to do the mission trip there?
Actually, until we decided to do the trip in London, I had never been to England.
Okay.
Never been there before. It's only from reading. I've been to the airport, yes.
Into the airport.
But that's about it. Did a couple of, I think twice, I did a transfer in, I think once in Manchester, once in London, and that's about it. Okay. Until 2011, I spent 3 weeks over there for the very first time to see it personally. Everything else is only by reading and understanding it.
Now, from what I understand, London, especially that part of England, has become really multicultural in the last few decades. There have been a lot of immigration from around the world. Is this going to have an impact on your mission trip as well? Are you looking at kind of the ethnic diversity that's found there when you're reaching out into this community?
London actually has not been just recently multicultural. Actually, for a long time, when the British Empire was at its height, London was its center. Okay, and so being the center of everything, people went from all over the world. You find people from all nationalities in London. That has always been a multinational place for many years. And London, until I think 1930 or something like that, it was the largest city in the world for a long time. So, and again, because of people coming from the various corners of the British Empire.
Now, you're bringing volunteers on this mission trip. Does that mean then that you're really looking for volunteers from everywhere?
People are welcome to come everywhere, but obviously English is our main.
Okay, got to speak English.
You got to speak English, okay? Because even all these people that come from all over the place, they learn English. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you do have different sectors around there, but they all still speak English. So when you go, especially London itself, if you want to reach only British people that are ethnically British, you have to go outside of London, actually. Okay, they've kind of gone out to the outskirts. You still find them in the city, but not, so when you go to one area, you're going to find, when I was there, I just came from there. I was just there this last week. And, just walking down the street, I mean, I was shocked, vegetarian restaurants all over the place. Okay, a little bit hot because they're Indian vegetarian restaurants, but nonetheless, they're from different countries. So, yeah, there are people from all over the world, all over the place, yes.
And a lot of young people now in other countries speak English, so it should be good to get volunteers from all over the place.
They're welcome to come everywhere. You're going to meet all sorts of people. Just the other day, I was on a train. I spent 2 weeks I just came back. I was there for 2 weeks. And during that 2 weeks, I used only the train and buses and all that other system, okay? And on Sabbath, I was going to church. And the train system that I wanted to go on, they didn't have it working that weekend. So I had to use another method, okay? So I go over there, and there's no sign up there saying this is the train going to such and such a place. And the guy told me go to that platform. I saw him again, and I asked him, and he was really rude about it and saying, yeah, I told you this is where it is. There's a guy there standing there, and he's trying to get on the train too. And finally the train came, and the train was practically empty. We could sit anywhere we want. So I got myself a nice, comfortable seat. You have these seats that face each other, nice table there. I got out my computer. I got about an hour to sit on the train there so I can do some things. And this guy that was standing there on the platform decides, of all places, he decides to plunk himself right in front of me.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, why is this guy just sitting here right in front of me? And finally I decided, okay, God must have him here for a reason. Okay, so I closed down my computer, forget the computer. This guy has a short time before we get off the train. And I started talking to him about the day that we are on, because the Sabbath has it's the solution, the perfect solution for stress relief. And we talked to him about that, introduced the Sabbath, introduced the message. He's from Nigeria.
Okay.
And we had a very good conversation. I didn't have any literature. I gave him my card, told him to send an email. He sent me an email already. We started communicating and inviting him to come to the meetings. But here's a man from Nigeria. Okay, speaks perfect English. Okay, but he's Nigerian, and so you're going to meet people from all around the world. So if you have people from different parts of the world, yeah, they're welcome to come.
So what are the dates for this mission trip?
It begins actually. People need to start arriving on June the. Let me just get the exact date here. June the 16th is the actual date of arrival,
okay.
And on the 17th we actually begin the canvassing program and all those other things.
So are the people who come, are they going to receive some kind of training? Are they going to receive some kind of instruction on what they're doing?
Yes, we have two young sisters, Giselle and Julie. And,
from North America?
They're from North America, yes. They are actually the ones in charge of the canvassing program. Julie went there a couple of years ago. In 2011, she went there with me.
Okay.
And she went and found out some things, what we need to do to get, to do canvassing. And she found out some legal things that we needed to do, which we didn't have. And that's another story, which is awesome. You should hear about that story. And but she couldn't do any canvassing because we didn't have the proper things. Giselle is actually going there at the end of this month.
Okay.
She'll be spending there a week to get familiar with the area and whatnot. So they're going to be going, they'll both be there, they'll be doing the training sessions. And the first week especially will be a lot of training in the mornings to learn how to do canvassing. But the first day you get training, you go out as well. You go out immediately. So they'll be doing the practical training, and every day when there's needs, they're there to help out with the project.
Now, previous mission trips, for example, there was one in Geneva, Switzerland, just
Yes.
a short while ago. Has the experiences that people have had on those mission trips, like Geneva, impacted what you're doing in London?
Absolutely, because you find out when you do a trip like that, you find out what doesn't work. Okay, then you learn what to do with it. In Geneva, we didn't speak French, but we found a lot of people that spoke our languages. A lot of people spoke English and things of that nature. But to actually get people interested, you must have personal contact. And you don't get personal contact when you have an invitation, say, here's the invitation, and you give it to them walking down the street. Okay, and then they say goodbye. We had good results, some results I should say, but not the real results that we wanted. And the only way you're going to get the real results is you got to get a book in their hands.
Got to get a book in their hands.
Got to get a book in their hands, and that gives you 10, 15 minutes of conversation time, not just, here, take this.
Okay.
And that's what we're praying will help benefit the situation, yes.
So when you did Geneva in the past, where did you have people come from for that project in Geneva? Because Geneva is an international city too. In the opportunities I've had to be there, it's a United Nations place, so there's people from all over the world in Geneva. What kind of group did you have there in that mission trip to Geneva?
And that was really great because when we went there, we had people from all around the world. So therefore, whoever had a language difficulty, and I didn't speak French, okay, I met a lot of English-speaking people, okay. So then we had someone from Germany, we had some from Croatia, we had some from Spain, United States, and Australia and France. So those were the countries that were represented at that trip there.
That participated there.
Yeah.
Now, I've had an opportunity to be with you on projects that you've done. For example, you did a training program in Zambia. I remember being there together with you on that training program. When you're instructing people, what kind of a character are you looking for somebody who's going to be successful on this trip? What kind of things are you looking for that a person should have in order to really be able to be successful?
Success depends upon your decision. Okay, everyone can be successful. Okay, and success is given by God. We need to understand that. And so, if you are dedicated to the Lord and want to serve the Lord, you're going to find success in one way or another. May not be giving out the books, but you may find people to talk to, people to communicate with. If you don't have a firm experience with the Lord, but you want to have a firm experience with the Lord, this is also for you. Because we're there for that purpose. So we're there to help individuals to come to a knowledge of Christ as their personal Savior. Many people who came to Geneva, quite a few of them actually came just for the fun of it. One even came there just to get rid of his parents. Okay? And so he came over there. And in that, he found something he never had in any other way. Because we will help you personally. If you want to get to know the Lord, we're there to help you. If you don't want to know the Lord, if you're there to be rebellious and fight all the time, well then you can choose something else to do.
Well, so what you're saying is that you don't already have to be a trained missionary to go on this trip.
No, we're there. These are training programs. What we're here to do is to help train people. Obviously, it'll be nice to have a few trained people. Okay, we definitely need, because you're talking about 40 young people that are going over there. They'll have specific people working with them directly, but the spiritual side, it'll be great to have a few other people there that will help that. And plus, to do the follow-up work, we need Bible workers that know a little bit more about Bible. Giving basic Bible studies will help. If you've never done it before, but you have some experience, then we will give you some things to work with. We'll give you instruction every day. But we can expect quite a few people that will want some follow-up, and so we need to be able to go and visit them immediately.
So if you're a trained missionary, come on the trip. And
Absolutely.
If you're not, but you have a desire to be a missionary, you have a desire to help others, this is the trip.
We're there to give you the training. We're there to help you out. So we do need people who just want to go and serve the Lord for 2 months and have a new experience in their life, rejuvenate their personal spiritual life, and also those who are workers, ministers even. We welcome them to come and help us, because we have, God will only bless us according to the number of people we can handle.
So let me ask you a question then. Is your team full?
No, we haven't started really seriously pushing on this yet.
Okay.
The reason being is because we were not even registered in England.
So is that taken care of now?
We started about 2 years ago. And we started the process. I couldn't get all the documentation. It took about a year to get all the documentation. When I started again, we had to reapply. Okay. And when we reapplied, they really came down with us with the books. They read everything on our GC website. They took the fundamental Christian beliefs and read the whole thing, and then gave us a whole bunch of reasons why we can't be registered.
Oh boy.
And so then we got, by the grace of the Lord, I went on their website, looked at all these things. I found where they had some attorneys that gave them advice. And then I found the companies where these attorneys worked for. And then we hired an attorney from that company to work with us. And they've been working with us. It's been quite a difficult process. From last October, we began the process. We finally submitted the answers to the Charity Commission in Britain about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And they take 3 weeks to do anything, okay? Actually, the last time they took 6 weeks, okay? So we gave it to them, told them, please take a look at it, because we have to register the church as an organization and then as a charity. So whether our articles of association were appropriate or not, they had to give us approval first, and a tentative approval. It was 2 Sabbaths ago, I was in London, and we had just that Wednesday or that Thursday, we just submitted it to them. And I told the brethren there about our situation, told the history, and we had a season of prayer, because we were talking about faith in the Sabbath school lesson, where faith is just jumping off the cliff, basically, when God says jump, and he's going to catch you. Told them we have just jumped off a big cliff, okay? But we need the Lord to help us. We had season of prayer. That Sunday night, I was preparing for Kaylee Bible College, some material there, and I was preparing Daniel 10, and how the angels work behind the scenes with governments to really help them help things for the people of God. And on Monday morning, I was doing my regular emails, and I was just ready to shut down the computer, do the work for the day, and an email popped up. And the email said, the Charity Commission has just given us the green light. Go ahead and register. So that Wednesday, we went ahead and did the registration of the church. By Wednesday night, it was already in their program. By Tuesday, we were able to file the additional paperwork for them. And so we're going to have to wait to be whether it can be a charity or not. Yesterday, I flew into Sacramento. I was at the airport waiting for my ride, and I made use of the Wi-Fi there. And I had checked all my email messages and everything was fine. And I'm sitting there waiting, and a new email message came up, and I opened it up. It was from the Charity Commission giving us our registration number. So
wow.
Everything it's been a miracle. I'm telling you, the Lord has opened the doors. If you want to see God working, this is the trip for you.
Oh, breaking news. You heard it here first. All those things were approved, and the Lord maybe is calling you to be on this trip. If somebody has an inspiration that they want to be on this mission trip, where can they get more information? Where can they start?
Send me an email.
Just
send me an email. It's PLAUSEVIC@SDARM.org. Just send me an email message. And if you can't figure all that out, send it to David and he'll forward it to me.
All right, you'll see it on the screen right here. You can get information there. It's been such a blessing to have you here with us, and I hope that the trip is going to be an amazing success.
I got to read one thing before I finish.
Please.
There's one statement here that has to be read. It's from Volume 6, Lessons for the Church, page 25 to 26. It says, there is a great work to be done in England. The light radiating from London should beam forth in clear, distinct rays to regions beyond. God is wroth in England, but this English-speaking world has been terribly neglected. England has needed many more laborers and much more means. London has been scarcely touched. My heart is deeply moved as the situation in that great city is presented before me. It pains me to think that greater faculties are not provided for the work throughout Europe. Just down further, in the city of London alone, no fewer than 100 men should be engaged. We're only asking for 40 canvassers, and altogether will be about 50 of us. But it says here, no fewer than 100 should be engaged. The Lord marks the neglect of his work, and there will be a heavy account to settle by and by. And I just want to mention that, London is number 25 in the most expensive cities in the world.
Okay.
Okay, so everything we do there is a fortune.
Yes.
Okay, you take your dollar and it's worth about 50, 60 cents. Okay, that's what it is. And then it's expensive on top of that. And for this reason, I do want you to consider this statement here that I just read to you. You'll get a chance to read it again on the first Sabbath in May in your Sabbath school lesson. And please take a look at that and open your hearts and help support the work in London. If you can't go there personally, help us with financial aid so we can actually do the work that needs to be done.
All right. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.